Hi, my name is Chris Brennan, and I'm the creator of the Astrology podcast. I started the podcast in 2012 in order to provide high-quality discussions about the history, philosophy, and techniques of astrology. I've produced more than 30 episodes of the podcast at this point, and it's continued to grow and develop in ways that I never expected when I first started it. It has largely been a labor of love, though, because I enjoy talking about astrology. As a result of that, my ability to release episodes on a regular basis has been kind of spotty, because I find myself having to jump back and forth between this project and other projects in order to keep things going financially. I think it's time to take the podcast to the next level, though, and Patreon seems like the perfect thing to allow me to do that. So Patreon allows podcast creators like myself to receive donations from their listeners on an ongoing basis, which essentially creates an optional subscription model for the podcast. Nothing will change with the podcast itself, and I will continue to record and release episodes for free, just like I always have for the past few years. But now followers of the podcast and fans of the podcast have the option to voluntarily donate money each time I produce an episode in order to support my work, encourage me to keep recording new episodes, and eventually to expand and improve the quality of the podcast in general. In ancient times, astrologers were often supported by patrons who funded their research and work in the field of astrology. For example, the 2nd century astrologer Claudius Ptolemy had a patron named Cyrus that he dedicated the Tetrabiblos to. What I'm trying to do here is take the ancient concept of patronage and apply it here in a 21st century context by crowdsourcing it, sort of like a Kickstarter, but on an ongoing basis. The way that this is set up is that you can volunteer to donate whatever amount you want on a per episode basis. So essentially, each time that I release a new episode, you volunteer, you're agreeing to donate $1 or $2 or $3 or whatever you want. My goal is to release one episode a week, or in other words, 4 episodes a month. When you subscribe, you'll be charged at the end of each month based on the number of episodes I released that month. You can also set a maximum monthly amount so that you won't get charged more than a certain amount in a given month, just in case I end up releasing an extra bonus episode that month, and you don't want to pay for more than 4 episodes in a given month. The podcast itself, just to remind you, will remain free, but there are some ongoing rewards and additional benefits that you get that are only available to subscribers, such as access to a private Facebook discussion forum, early access to new episodes, or the ability to vote on which episodes I should do in the future. I also have some specific milestone goals listed on the page, and once we reach those milestones, there will be different things that I will be able to do to improve and expand the podcast, like getting better equipment, recording episodes more consistently or frequently, or eventually hiring someone to make transcripts of each episode. Ultimately, I love what I'm already doing with the podcast, and I can see that there's a lot of potential to make it even better than it already is, but I can only do this with your help. So please help the podcast to reach its full potential with more episodes, better audio, and more interviews with famous astrologers. If you want to see this happen, then please become a patron.